Come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1. Line drive to the base hit. Justice has scored the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Forbes Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is goodbye. Big World Series.
The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Back and throw. There's a left back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them with my faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings long drive left field. If it stays there, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins.
Here's the pitch to Willie. Here's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. This is goodbye. Home run.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
I see with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Hey! Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. Get in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the program. I am your host, Dan Scott, and we're very happy to have you with us on the show today. It is going to be a little bit of a different program because we are very excited to be announcing a partnership. The young lady you see here with me will be filling us in on all of those details coming up here in just a moment. And it's a partnership that's going to allow not only us at the show here to be able to present you some stories and hopefully change the lives of some children in the state of South Carolina, but it's going to give you an opportunity to participate. And it's a long-term partnership, and I absolutely can't wait. Before we introduce our guest, though, just want to remind you that tomorrow on the program is the return of the regular segment with Dave Glenn of the ACC Sports Journal, and we'll be talking all things Atlantic Coast Conference and beyond in the bigger picture of the world of college athletics with David every Wednesday from tomorrow through the end of April, and just continuing to get closer and closer and closer to football season and more of the fun that goes with that. In fact, the Paladins are practicing on the field right below us right now as they continue to get things cranked up. But let's not make you wait any longer. The young lady who's sitting to my right, your left as you look at it on the screen, is Crystal Alifano. And I got it right, correct? Yes, pull that microphone a little bit closer down to your mouth. There you go.
That's right.
Crystal Alifano, who is the Director of Communications for Make-A-Wish South Carolina. And see, by the magic of the copy-paste off of your email address, I was able to actually even get the trademark in there. How about that?
Man after my own heart.
Yeah, well, you do. When they say the trademark needs to be in there, you try to do what you can. Okay. Hey, I am really, really excited to have you here. You and I and Bill Tiller all went to lunch a couple of weeks ago, and the idea of this partnership came together, and I just can't tell you how excited I am to be joining personally and joining what I'm doing with the show with Make-A-Wish South Carolina.
Well, thank you. We're excited for it too, and happy to be here. Yeah.
Tell us. Where do we start? We got so much information here to get through, but where do you want to start this morning?
Well, I think, so basically, just to let everyone know, everyone's sort of heard the name Make-A-Wish. Not everybody realizes exactly what we do. We do grant wishes for children with critical illnesses, and we are very much a community organization. And so I think that's what's so exciting about this new partnership, and working with Dan Scott and Furman University and all of the fans of Furman University football, is that they are very much the community of Greenville, and we are headquartered in Greenville. We're a community organization helping local kids, and I don't think there could be a better fit.
Yeah, I have to tell this quick story and even have to supplement it with something that happened last night. And I send this out as not only a little bit of a lesson to young broadcasters that you never know who is listening to something, even if you think it may be the most mundane task you're doing. But in life, you never know who might be paying attention to what you're doing, so you always need to be cognizant about how you're comporting yourself. Last night on our Greenville Drive baseball broadcast, there was a scoring situation that came up, and I had an opinion about one thing. The official scorer had an opinion about something else, and finally ended up going to the rule book and found out what the right call was. Well, this morning I wake up, and on my Twitter feed, there is a tweet to me from Pedro Gomez, who is one of ESPN Television's top baseball reporters, who for some reason was watching and listening to our Greenville Drive baseball broadcast last night. And he said that here is what a Major League Baseball official scorer said about that. So I took that as a pretty cool moment, but B, as a chance to retweet that to young broadcasters about you never know who's paying attention. I tell you that story to tell you the one that Bill told me when we were at lunch.
Oh, yeah.
That years ago when I was on the air at the Clemson radio station and doing the daily talk show there, I was involved in a partnership that I truly loved with the Challenger organization out of Powdersville. And we raised just a ton of money, got involved with those kids, went to some of the baseball events they have. And for those who don't know, the Challenger organization is one that provides opportunities, be it sports or whatever the particular organization wants, for kids who have mental and physical handicaps to allow them to have the same kind of experiences that all children have. So we got involved in that and had a nice long run in being involved with that organization. Well, it was that involvement years ago that Bill remembered and reached out to me via LinkedIn on social media to set up the meeting to talk about the possibility of partnering with Make-A-Wish South Carolina.
Yeah.
So once again, you just never know.
Everyone you meet in your life has an effect on your life, don't they?
Yeah, in one way or another.
Yeah.
Positive or negative.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say you really have to be cognizant about what you're doing at all times, because you never know who's paying attention. The fact that something that started probably back as far back as 2002 or 2003 resonated enough with Bill that he remembered, and when this idea came up, now all these years later, here we are. And I'm just blown away. So it's another hand of God moving, folks. There's no other way to explain it. Anyway, Make-A-Wish is a national organization, but
Correct.
South Carolina, like all the other states, has its own chapter, right? So everything that's done through this organization here stays here in the state.
Correct. There are 62 chapters of Make-A-Wish nationally. There are international chapters as well. 62 in the United States. However, our chapter is the state of South Carolina. It's not always by state. For instance, North Carolina has 2 chapters just because of the diversity of the counties and the way it's shaped. South Carolina, however, is 1 chapter. We're headquartered here in Greenville. So all funds raised in South Carolina stay in South Carolina and grant wishes for kids right here in South Carolina.
And we're going to be talking about funding needs a little bit later on as we go through the course of the show today. But becoming a Wish kid, you grant wishes for children between the ages of 2.5 and 18 years old. And one of the talking points is why 2.5? Why not earlier? Why not later? I'm sure there's some research that's gone into that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We want to make sure that it's the child's one true wish. And most children at that stage can either verbalize what they really love and what they really like, or the parents have a really good concept at that point, if the child is nonverbal, of what brings hope and joy to that child.
Right.
And so that's really, really important, because we want to make sure that all the wishes are the child's, come from their heart, their one true wish.
The scope of what Make-A-Wish has done over the years has changed a bit, because it used to be, and I guess we can talk about this, it used to be that it was just for terminally ill children, correct? And that has changed now.
Yes. So that's actually probably the largest misconception is that it does not have to be for terminally ill children. As a matter of fact, we totally removed that word from our lexicon in about 1984. People don't realize how long.
So that's been a while.
It's been a long time. So we grant children wishes who have life-threatening critical illnesses, and that is determined by certain parameters that a doctor helps us determine. It's usually whether it's a degenerative or a progressive illness.
So how does a child get recommended, or how do you get the case of a child, so to speak?
They're usually referred to us most primarily through our website. A parent or a child themselves can actually refer themselves on the website, or they can call our office and refer a child.
How many referrals do you normally get a year?
Ooh, that's the one thing I don't know, to
Really?
be honest. There's one of my coworkers could tell you. I apologize.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at, there's no shortage of referrals.
There's no shortage.
Which is unfortunate in a way that there are that many children suffering that way.
On average in South Carolina every year 400 children are diagnosed with a critical illness. This year we are poised to grant the most ever in our chapter's history. I believe we're going to grant over 200 wishes this fiscal year, which ends this month on August 31st. But however, that's still 200 children we're not reaching.
Sure.
So there's no shortage of the referrals or the need to fund those wishes.
We're just looking at some of the numbers in fiscal year 2017. You granted 184 wishes, so that's basically slightly more than one every other day. I mean that's getting a lot of work done, but there's a lot of work that remains.
Yes, it's a never-ending need, which is great. It's a wonderful process. But yes, the need continues. Yeah.
You granted more than 950 wishes over the past 6 years, and just as I said, about on average every 48 hours in the state of South Carolina. 79 cents of every dollar spent goes directly to wish granting. That is an incredibly high percentage. A lot of charities don't come close to that.
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in that. We strive for that because, and it's important. When we say that Make-A-Wish grants these wishes, that's a little bit of a misnomer because it's not Make-A-Wish that grants the wishes. It's the community that grants wishes. It's donors, it's volunteers, it's everyone else who gives and supports. And you want to know that when you make a donation that it's going directly to help those children. So we really work towards that.
How did you get involved in the organization? Tell us that story. Yeah.
Well, I actually worked with the person who was in my position before, and she was leaving the organization, and she wanted to make sure that she, recommended someone for the position who would also be a good steward of the mission. So she called me and said, "Are you interested?" And I said, "Heck yeah, I'm interested."
And you've been doing it for how long now?
I've been there almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot in 5 years, haven't you?
It's grown a lot. We've grown a lot. We're helping more families, which is fantastic. We've got a really good team. We have a team of professionals who truly care about the mission of what we're doing, and making every child and family have the best possible experience that they can have. Yeah.
This is Crystal. She is from the Make-A-Wish South Carolina organization, the chapter here in the state of South Carolina that's based in Greenville. And today we're announcing the partnership of the Dan Scott Show with Make-A-Wish South Carolina, and that's going to provide opportunities for you as our viewers and listeners to get involved over the course of the long term, and we're going to talk about ways that you can do that here in just a moment. We need to take a break. We'll come back and talk more. We've got a couple of samples of some wishes that have been granted recently that Crystal's going to share with us, and it's going to become kind of a regular thing for us once or twice a month. We're going to share some wishes and actually with the technology we have moving forward, be able to actually hopefully show you some video of those wishes being granted as well. So really excited about it. This is the Dan Scott Show. It's presented by Carolina Creative, and we'll be back in just a moment. Hey everybody, Dan Scott here, and I want to tell you about my technology partner, Carolina Creative Group. When my show needed a creative technology boost, I turned to Carolina Creative Group. My custom design website is going to take marketing as well as brand strategy and development to new levels. The search engine optimization means that my clients' ads will be seen by more people more often. And if I have any questions, Carolina Creative Group is just a phone call away. Friends, that is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. You can find out all the ways that Carolina Creative Group can help your business by simply calling 864-250-2012. Again, that's 864-250-2012, or simply visit them online at carolinacreative.co. Carolina Creative Group, technology partner of the Dan Scott Show.
If you're looking for the perfect frame for that special photo or painting, Custom Corners Frame Shop in Seneca can deliver for you. Family owned for nearly 4 decades, Trevor and the folks at Custom Corners Frame Shop pride themselves on quality, presentation, and professionalism. They offer picture framing for every budget, and every job is custom. Custom Corners Frame Shop also sells work from local artists as well as locally themed gifts. For more information, visit them at 289 Market Street in Seneca. Call 864-882-7736 or find them on Facebook, Custom Corners Frame Shop in Seneca.
When you go in search of a fence company, what's your criteria? Experience? Trust? A company that gets it right the first time and stands behind its work? Then your search is over. Faulkner Fence has been Greenville's fence company for more than 40 years. Ed Faulkner started the business, and now son Todd continues the tradition of excellence. So regardless of your fencing needs, commercial, industrial, or residential, trust the company that Greenville has trusted for over 4 decades. Faulkner Fence, 864-271-4626, or online at faulknerfencecompany.com.
The Walk a Mile Project is a 501c3 nonprofit Christian humanitarian aid organization whose goal is to organize, build, and invest in ways to meet the physical needs of impoverished communities around the world. What do? They encourage and equip groups on how to prepare for a mission trip, how to get there, how to form a trip, and how to raise funds. Then the Walk a Mile Project teaches groups how to build houses, conduct medical clinics, feed a village, you name it. Find out how you can partner with one of their mission trips or set up one of your own. Visit their website, thewamproject.org, thewamproject.org for more information. That's the Walk a Mile Project.
For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant more life-changing wishes. Visit Make-A-Wish online now. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Welcome back to the show. I am Dan Scott. This is Crystal Alifano from Make-A-Wish, South Carolina. 2 for 2.
Yes. You're doing really good.
I was in newspaper for so long, and you had to worry about spelling as opposed to pronunciation. And, now in the broadcast, I don't care how to spell it. How do I say it? That's the most important thing. We are announcing today a long-term partnership between the Dan Scott Show, me personally, and Make-A-Wish South Carolina. Just incredibly excited about that. And that's going to give opportunities for you to be involved as well, which we'll talk about coming up here in just a bit. Crystal, we've talked about the, again, unfortunate circumstance that there are so many kids who qualify for Make-A-Wish that you haven't been able to really get to them all. You said there were like 400 referrals last year, and we're going to get to over 200 of them by the end of fiscal year 2018, which leaves a lot of work to be done. I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to let you answer it. What's keeping you from getting to those other 200?
Funding. Funding is definitely the one thing that is, will get us to our goal, and our goal is to grant the wish of every eligible child in the state of South Carolina. So the need for funding continues, yeah.
And as we will detail here in a moment, there are different types of funding. I mean, obviously, yes, you need money, you and want people to donate, become donors and partners in that way, but there are so many different ways that you can accomplish the same goal, correct?
Yes, we have a few different programs that are really cool. Obviously, you can donate online, most importantly. You can also donate a vehicle. There's a program called Wheels for Wishes, and you can donate a vehicle. Another large need that we have that most people don't realize is we need airline miles. Approximately, I want to say 62% of our wishes are travel related. That's a lot of airline miles. So donating airline miles is a huge contribution to our chapter, and that can be done on our website. We also have youth programs for students to get involved, and teachers and schools, and as well as events. Participating in one of our signature events is a huge opportunity, and we have a lot of things that people can get involved with, from hiking to running to, going to a gala and enjoying a wonderful meal.
Yeah, the airline miles to me is kind of one of the hidden gems in this thing, because when you grant a wish, you're not just sending the child, you're sending the family as well. And if you have to fly a family of 4 or 5 halfway across the country to grant a wish, well, we all know how expensive it is to fly. So accumulating those airline miles and being able to get those tickets either free or at a significant discount really, really goes a long way in being able to grant more wishes, I would imagine.
Correct. Yeah, correct. It really makes a huge difference. I wish I knew the exact number of how many, millions of miles or thousands of miles that we go through every year, but I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I can guarantee you it's quite high.
Yeah, I would garner a hazard a guess that it's more in the millions. I would think so, knowing how much traveling is done.
Yeah.
The other thing that I like in looking at some of the ways people can help here is getting companies or even schools involved in various kind of fundraisers.
Yes. We actually have a wonderful program for companies to get involved, and we actually have a new corporate development manager, and she's an alumni of Furman University. And so
so we know she's going to do a fantastic job, right?
She's going to be fantastic. Her name is Kia.
Okay.
And she's really interested in helping companies discover what's most rewarding for them and their employees, to give back to the community and, build on that wonderful community partnership and become a little bit more involved in the community.
In the 5 years or nearly 5 years you've been here, how have you seen the partnership, the support in the Greenville area grow? Just start with individuals first.
I think our reach has expanded. I think we've seen so many more new wonderful partnerships developing. I think it's been a really educational process as well. I think more people are learning exactly what we do and how we do it, which has been really wonderful. And getting new partnerships developed through schools and organizations rather than just individuals.
Right, and I was going to ask, have corporate partners, has that increased?
Yes, we always have a need for more, but yes, we have. Yeah, we have some really good companies that we work with that are very important to us. Applebee's does a long campaign. Cinex Corporation is a large philanthropy partner, and several other organizations that are very important to the community.
Just some more of the numbers that we were going through earlier. The average cost to grant a wish here in the state of South Carolina is $7,500 per wish. Right now, they have more than 250 active volunteers and need many, many more. The chapter here in Greenville serves all 46 counties in the state of South Carolina.
Yep.
And South Carolina's very first wish granted was on the 10th of November back in 1984, when a youngster named Lewis, who was 5 years old, wished to go to a, quote, big-time football game. So that's where it started for the South Carolina chapter.
Yeah, our very first wish was a football game, and he went to a Citadel football game, which is pretty neat. Yeah.
Nice. We talked about the number of wishes granted here in the state of South Carolina about every 48 hours. Nationally, this organization is granting wishes on average every 34 minutes. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yes, it is a lot. It really is, and it's so neat because there's such diversity in the wishes. We always say that a wish is as unique as a child making it, and that applies to whether it's a Disney wish, which is the most common wish, obviously, is to go to Walt Disney World. But that experience is unique to that child and that family, no matter what it is. But wishes can also have a great variety. We typically like to say that wishes fall within 4 categories: to be, to have, to go, or to meet. So a wish might be to be a police officer, or which was the very first wish of Make-A-Wish ever. Young man wished to be a police officer. To meet a celebrity, or even meet a princess, or to have. A common one is a shopping spree.
I don't know if you saw this last night, but again, kind of sense a higher power kind of moving here. But last night in Oakland, there was a Make-A-Wish child whose wish was to meet his favorite baseball player, which was Chris Davis of the Oakland Athletics. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
Well, he got to meet Chris Davis on the field prior to the game, and I'm assuming that Chris did some autographs for him, but he actually had the child autograph the back of his jersey that he was wearing,
sweet, yeah.
and then went into the game and hit a home run.
Aww.
Wearing that jersey with the kid's autograph
and
on
the
it.
kid will never forget that.
No.
Neither will the family. Our slogan is actually transform lives one wish at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we say that is because wishes truly do transform the lives of everyone involved. They'll transform your lives. They'll transform my lives. They transform the volunteers' lives, donors and families. They really are impactful for everyone.
Well, that's one of the things that we found out early on all those years ago in working with the Challenger organization. And one of the reasons that besides just raising money once a year on a radiothon, that my wife and I actually got involved and got our children involved in going out and being buddies with some of the kids during their baseball games and going to some of their other events, because we wanted them to see. We wanted them to understand, how fortunate they are. Also wanted them to understand that in many, many ways these children were just like them. They just had issues or handicaps that they had to try to overcome, and hope that it would have an impact on them later in their life. Even if they didn't fully understand it at the time, it would have an impact on them as they got older. And I can promise you, folks, that once you get involved with something like this and see it happen for the very first time, it will be a life-changing event. Mm. It really will. Yeah. And I wish that I hadn't had the technical issues I had this morning before you got here, because you and or Bill, one of you, shared with me a video that I will play before it's all said and done, but a video of a wish of a young lady that was actually granted right here on Furman's campus not all that long ago. I'll let you kind of tell the story. Yes. But she wanted to be Rapunzel, and we just happen to have a tower here on Furman's campus, right?
Yes. So Anna Lee is 7 years old, and she actually had a blood disorder. And blood disorders are often treated with chemotherapy. And through chemotherapy, she lost her hair. And when you lose your hair, sometimes you really connect with stories of princesses who will have long, beautiful hair. Mm-hmm. And so it sparked something in her. It created a dream for her. And so she wished to be Rapunzel. And Furman has this wonderful bell tower out on the lake. Was the perfect opportunity for our wish manager to reach out to Furman and create that partnership. And then we had some other community partners help as well. A salon helped her become the princess. A chef gave her a princess brunch. And then, she climbed the tower after riding a horse.
Oh, after riding. I was going to say, she rode the horse in.
Yeah, she rode the horse in around the lake. And it was truly a magical moment. And you'll see in the video, it was a large crowd that was, just the community coming out to see a wish come true, because it's not every day you get to see that happen. And it's a really magical experience to be a part of. Yeah.
This is Crystal Alifano. She is from Make-A-Wish, South Carolina. We need to step out for another break. When we come back, we've got a couple of instances of recent wishes that have been granted here. We'll talk a little bit about those. We'll talk about more ways that you can participate, and you're going to be hearing about this on a daily basis, but then a couple of times a month on more of a concentrated basis as we bring you these stories and hope that we can convince you that this is an organization worth your time and your effort, and hopefully some of your dollars as well. This is the Dan Scott Show, and we will return in just a moment.
Looking for a great car, but your credit needs work? Premier Automotivations is a professional referral service motivated to help you drive a car you love while rebuilding your credit. Late model cars of all kinds. Premier Automotivations can get you on the road and your credit on the road to recovery today. Serving all of upstate South Carolina, It's Premier Auto Motivations. Call Sherry today at 864-722-3785 or email cricketgravely@gmail.com.
When you're looking for the home of a lifetime, you need a realtor you can trust. With more than 27 years' experience selling real estate, Gail Sartain is the choice to help the discriminating buyer find the home of their dreams. Licensed in both South Carolina and Georgia, Gail specializes in homes on beautiful lakes Hartwell and Kiwi, as well as the surrounding areas, and has a wealth of experience working with people with technical backgrounds. Now is the time to buy, sell, and invest in real estate in the Clemson-Seneca area. Let Gail help you realize that dream today. Call her at 404-317-3171. That's Gail Sartain, a member of the National Association of Realtors. Dan Scott here for the Atlanta Bread Company. What do I like about Atlanta Bread? Well, too much to mention in a short commercial, but here are a few things. Bread baked daily fresh on site, a tremendous selection of soup, sandwiches, and salads, seasonal special additions to the menu, delicious hot coffee, and a bevy of other drink options. And yeah, can't forget about the baked sweet goodies. Dine in or carry out, and when you have the Atlanta Bread Company app, you can order and pay online, then breeze past the lines to the pickup counter to get your food. Experience it for yourself. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
Hi, welcome back to the show. I am Dan Scott. This is Crystal from the Make-A-Wish South Carolina organization. Let me take just a quick second to remind you about our friends at Hall's Chop House. They are in downtown Greenville, the Greenville Steakhouse. And I tell you all the time about the menu starting with the Allen Brothers Prime Steaks out of Chicago and how everything falls into place from there. The thing that really strikes me about what they do is the fact that no matter how crowded the restaurant is, and it's always crowded, they make you feel like your table's the most important one in the place. And that takes a lot of effort on Billy and his staff's part, and they pull it off to perfection. Now open for lunch on Friday and Saturday, brunch on Sunday, and live music every time the doors are open. That's Hall's Chop House, the Greenville Steakhouse in downtown Greenville. All right, Crystal Alifano, let's talk about a couple of these wishes that have recently been granted by Make-A-Wish South Carolina, and you've got one up right now.
I do. You're so good with that name. It's throwing me. Not everybody gets that.
Well,
great.
I told you before, and I had two shots.
Yeah.
And it was going to be one of two, but I wanted to ask before, so
it was great.
There we go.
Yeah. So we I wanted to share the story of Ahmed. He's 17. He had bone cancer, and his wish was to meet Cristiano Ronaldo, who is a professional soccer player for Real Madrid. And I think what is interesting is that, having bone cancer, you think, gosh, why are you so particularly drawn to a soccer player if you're a child? It's not just about the glitz and the glamour. It's representing vitality. The sports are often representing the athletic prowess that they feel like has somewhat been taken away from them. They can't run and they can't play quite the way that they want to, and they can see themselves in the dream of this athletic pursuit. And so I think it was a very touching story in that way. So he went to Barcelona and he got to see a Real Madrid game and meet Cristiano Ronaldo, and he now feels like he can get better and he can continue to play sports and get strong. And that's what wishes are all about, is giving children that hope that this illness doesn't define their future.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time, but I'm just trying to think back to our lunch conversation a couple of weeks ago, and things you generally sometimes go here and out here with so much going on. But do I recall correctly, either you or Bill saying during that lunch that when a wish is granted with a kid that there's some kind of statistical study that's shown that it actually helps with their recovery or they're getting better from whatever disease it is they're battling?
Yes. So
I did remember correctly.
Yes, you did. Like a steel trap.
Rusty, but still.
No, so Make-A-Wish has been doing several medical impact studies. We've always known that wishes provide strength and hope. But now we have the data to back it up and say, this is necessary. Wishes are necessary. They're not just a nice thing. They actually provide critical wellness for children in terms of renewed energy and strength.
So the Ronaldo was one. What was the other one you wanted to share?
Stephanie's 14 years old. She has lymphoblastic leukemia, and she wished to go to VidCon. And I think what's so interesting to me about that is, first of all, she's a little nerd, and I love her because I'm a big nerd. But when you're in a hospital bed, it's a long time, and you they have to find ways to keep themselves entertained and keep their minds active and strong. And you spend a lot of time on YouTube when you're in a hospital. She found a creative outlet. She's really interested in video editing and becoming a YouTube personality. And so she wished to go to VidCon and meet some of these people who helped her get through her treatment simply by watching them. And to get to meet those people and tell them what impact they had on her and get to tell them, they told her, wow, you're inspiring us. For a kid to hear that, it's very impactful for them. She then feels like, gosh, I can be anything. I really can be anything, and I can do this.
Do you have stories, examples of celebrities or athletes whose life has been significantly changed by being part of a wish granted to a child?
There are, and I wish I had those stories memorized to tell you, but there's actually a book we have in our office simply by sports celebrities actually who have granted wishes and how those wishes have affected them in a positive way. I'll have to share that book. Maybe we can talk about that on another
because
episode.
I can't imagine the type of person it would take, and unfortunately I know they're out there, but to be involved in something like this and not have it affect you in some way.
Yeah, can you imagine if a child can wish for anything in the entire world, well, within reason, and they wish to meet you? That's deeply impactful. That someone would want to see you after going through something so incredibly difficult.
It would be humbling, and it would be, and at least the way I would feel about it, it would be a tremendous responsibility.
Yeah.
To want to make sure that child's experience is everything that he or she dreamed that it would be.
Yes.
So.
And many feel that way. Most feel that way, for sure. They do everything that they can. We have some amazing celebrity partners. They do everything that they can to make this experience as wonderful as they can. And not even at celebrity level, even at the local level. So we actually do wish assists for other chapters. So every chapter does. So for instance, if we have a child from Pennsylvania who wishes to go to Myrtle Beach, we help the Pennsylvania chapter fulfill that wish.
Right.
We work with local partners and things like that. We recently did have a young lady who wished to go to Myrtle Beach, and she wanted to become a mermaid, but she also loved cooking, and she wanted to have a cooking class. And a local chef in Myrtle Beach came to their condo in Myrtle Beach and gave her a private cooking lesson. And so just the fact that local partners are like, how can I help make this wish come true, and do everything they can to make that an incredible experience is wonderful.
And we all love to see, just like last night in Oakland, we love to see these wishes that are publicized because we all feel good about seeing them. But there are so many, I would imagine, that are granted that there are no network television cameras around, and it's just for the people who are directly involved.
Yep. Yeah. There's many that don't seek the recognition or don't want publicity, and we honor that. Sometimes they do, and we honor that as well.
Let's kind kind of hyper-focus in now again as we start drawing towards the end here on ways that people can help. And let's talk about volunteers because not only do you need funding, but you need people to provide man hours for you.
Yeah, so volunteers, I'm so glad you brought this up because volunteers are really the backbone of Make-A-Wish. Wishes are actually granted by volunteers. You can become a wish granter, a volunteer. Volunteers actually go out to the house, meet the child, help them discover what their true wish is, and then help us execute that wish and provide a send-off party for the child. So we really could not grant wishes without volunteers at all, and there's always a need for more volunteers.
And before the end of the show, we'll tell you how you can get in touch with Crystal and the organization here in South Carolina if you'd like to become a volunteer or do anything else. And it's like anything else, the easiest way is we'll be providing a website for you to go to. You mentioned donating a vehicle. You mentioned donating airline miles, something that perhaps we can start putting our heads together on here for some time down the road is hosting a fundraiser of some kind, but organizations do that all the time.
Yeah, you'd be surprised when you start thinking about it. There's a lot of ways you can help. We have people who host a fundraiser in lieu of their birthday, or just host we're going to have a barbecue. Why not turn it into a little bit of a fundraiser and give back just a little bit? So we have fundraising pages that you can set up on our website to help you be able to achieve that goal. But there's really no limit to what you can do. Cornhole tournaments, fun ways to do it, something like that.
Do you find that you get a lot of schools who want to get involved in helping, whether it's students in their schools or just helping in general?
Yes, we have a large variety of schools, or a large partnership of schools across the state. We have a program called Kids for Wish Kids, which is for elementary through high school, and then we also have a program called Wish Makers on Campus, which is for collegiate groups to become involved. And they host their own fundraisers. It's really student run. It gives them the power, helps them learn about philanthropy, and a lot of high schools host Wish Weeks, which are really fun. They're kind of like spirit weeks. And so, yeah, they do a lot of great work.
Tell me about some of these events before we take our next break. The Trailblaze Challenge, Running Wild for Wishes, the Wish Ball, Wishes in Bloom.
All right, so all of our signature events. Trailblaze Challenge is a 28.3 mile hike in one day on the Foothills Trail.
Okay,
I got you already.
I know which one I'm not doing now. So, all right.
It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. It recruits twice a year, so we're actually already in training. Recruitment has closed for the fall hike, and they're in training. They'll hike in October. Our next recruitment for that program is in January, and then they'll train throughout the winter and spring, and then the hike will be in spring. It's a wonderful program. It really is for all levels of hiking experience. It's a very doable hike. We invite people to come to an information meeting so we can tell you exactly how that works, why it is doable for everyone, and how we're going to help you achieve your fundraising goals.
And you said 28 miles in one day?
It's 28.3 miles in one day.
Gotta get that 0.3 in there.
Yes. The coordinator for the program will say you have to get that 0.3 or you'll still be stuck on the trail. Because people ask him all the time, why is it 0.3? And he's like, well, because if you don't do the 0.3, you'll still be left on the trail. You got to do it to get to the end. But it's a wonderful program. People come back and do it again and again and again and again. It's really wonderful. It's life-changing. Running Wild for Wishes is a similar program, except that it is for running and it is destination bound. So this is groups of people who perhaps get together and go run a half marathon in the Great Smoky Mountains, and they do it in the name of Make-A-Wish, and they fundraise as a group to do that. It's really fun. It's growing very quickly. There are limited spots for each run, so I would encourage somebody to reach out if they're interested in doing that. Wish Ball is our annual gala that's held in Columbia. We're currently looking for sponsors and partnerships for that. There's a lot of opportunities for corporations to get involved, but individual tickets will open up soon in the fall for those as well. If somebody wants to attend those, that's a beautiful, wonderful gala. We usually have some really special Wish experiences at the gala, which I can't tell you too much about. It's a super secret, but don't want to miss it. It's really fun. And live entertainment as well. And then Wishes in Bloom is another gala that we hold in Charleston at Magnolia Plantation, which is a beautiful venue if you've ever been there. It's a romantic garden in Charleston. And it's a garden party style event, which is a lot of fun. Yeah.
So those are the 4 signature
Those
events.
are 4 signature events.
But
yeah.
if your group or organization wants to get together and do its own fundraising event,
you can do that as well.
Get creative, right?
Yeah, just let us know. We we're open to a lot of things, and there's the only limits are really your imagination. There's a lot we can do.
We need to take our final break. We will come back and we will tell you how you can get involved. And then as we move on in this partnership, and I've got the technology piece of this a little straightened out. We had some issues this morning, but we'll actually have more graphics on screen so you can see some of the things we'll tell you and see some of the kids when we talk about these wishes, and hopefully even have some videos for you as well, because we're going to be doing this a couple of times a month moving forward. But we'll come back and we will get the contact info and see if there's anything that we kind of haven't covered in this first foray into this. But today, just again, incredibly excited to be announcing this partnership between the show and the Make-A-Wish South Carolina. We'll take a break and come back. Again, the program is brought to you each and every day by our friends at Carolina Creative Group. Hey everybody, Dan Scott here, and I want to tell you about my technology partner, Carolina Creative Group. When my show needed a creative technology boost, I turned to Carolina Creative Group. My custom design website is going to take marketing as well as brand strategy and development to new levels. The search engine optimization means that my clients' ads will be seen by more people more often. And if I have any questions, Carolina Creative Group is just a phone call away. Friends, that is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. You can find out all the ways that Carolina Creative Group can help your business by simply calling 864-250-2012. Again, that's 864-250-2012, or simply visit them online at carolinacreative.co. Carolina Creative Group, when you're looking for the home of a lifetime, you need a realtor you can trust. Hey everybody, Dan Scott here, and I want to tell you about my real estate. Gel Sartain is the choice to help the discriminating buyer find the home of their dreams. Licensed in both South Carolina and Georgia, Gel specializes in homes on beautiful lakes Hartwell and Kiwi, as well as the surrounding areas, and has a wealth of experience working with people with technical backgrounds. Now is the time to buy, sell, and invest in real estate in the Clemson-Seneca area. Let Gail help you realize that dream today. Call her at 404-317-3171. That's Gail Sartain, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant more life-changing wishes. Visit Make-A-Wish online now. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
All right, welcome back. Final segment of the program, live today with Crystal Alifano from Make-A-Wish South Carolina. We have done this today as a way to introduce the partnership and kind of give you an overview of exactly what Make-A-Wish does. So we've tried to hit you with a lot of stuff as we go on, because this is going to be a long-term thing. And we'll be able to, on different shows and different visits, again, hyper-focus in on more individual parts. But we wanted to give you the broad overview here today, and I ask you, since you are the communications expert, have we left out anything that we need to talk about that we didn't?
I can't really think of anything we've left out. There's always more good stuff to share and,
Well, you know
and
what,
talk about.
what generally
Yeah.
happens, you'll be 2 minutes down the road in your car.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Oh man, I should have said this.
But we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
So I guess the big thing, if people want to find out more about the organization, they want to get some more of the information that we talked about of all the different ways that as individuals or as groups, organizations, corporations, they can help. As is usually the case, the easiest place to go is on the web.
sc.wish.org. That is where you can find everything. You can contact me through there. I don't want to try to make anybody remember how to spell my last name from my email address.
See?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, but sc.wish.org, you can look up ways to help. You can refer a child. You can apply to become a volunteer. You can do it all on our website.
And of course,
read wish stories, most importantly.
There you go. And get inspired. I think that's the big thing. If you have, again, if you've never done anything like this, it is a life-changing event, and I can only tell you from experience how much it will mean to you if you go into it with the right attitude, your heart's in the right place, and you're truly, truly interested in doing something special for a child who needs it, deserves it. And as we talked about, the maybe even confounding what you might think logically, how it actually helps in the medical progress, as we talked about a little bit earlier. You need to do some investigating and jump on board with what we're doing here.
Yeah, please get involved. It's life-changing. Truly, I know we've said that several times, but we can't emphasize it enough. It's really rewarding for everyone involved, and we need your help. Sure.
Again, it's on average $7,500 to grant a wish. A wish here in South Carolina is granted about every 48 hours, and that is only touching about half of the requests that we have right now.
You know, and we touched on earlier this. Earlier in the program, we mentioned that our chapter began in 1984. If you're doing the math, that means in 2019 our chapter is going to be 35 years old. It'll be our 35th anniversary. So we want to make our 35th anniversary the best year ever for Make-A-Wish and grant as many wishes as we possibly can. So help us achieve that. That'll be fantastic.
That'd be the Diamond +5, wouldn't
it?
Yeah, because we're here at Furman, we're celebrating the Diamond anniversary for Furman's 30th anniversary of the '88 National Championship team. So Diamond +5 coming up in 2019. So we'll just encourage people again to, I'll put this up on the screen one more time, familiarize them with your name and the website, sc.wish.org. You can get all of the information you need there, including phone numbers to call if you want to talk to Crystal or anyone at the organization. And as we go through these next weeks and months and over the course of this long-term partnership, we're going to be finding as many ways as possible to figure out how to raise more money, to raise more awareness, and to help them grant more wishes. I don't like hearing the fact that, 200 wishes in a fiscal year is fantastic. I don't like hearing the fact that there are another 200 kids who didn't get their wish because there wasn't enough in the way of resources to pull it off, whether that's people resources, money resources, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So let's make that a priority to try to knock a pretty good chunk out of those 200 who won't get their wish in the fiscal year 2018. What do you think?
We can do it. We can do it together.
All right, good deal. Anything else? Last
you.
call.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to all the listeners, and thanks everybody for their support and for making wishes come true.
Well, this is just a beginning, and over the course of the, as I said, the weeks and months and this long-term partnership, let's see what we can do together for Make-A-Wish South Carolina. Crystal, thank
you. Thank you.
That'll do it for us. I'll be back with you tomorrow. And again, Dave Glenn, ACCsports.com, will make the first of his regular weekly appearances with us coming up at 10:25. And then either tomorrow right after that or Thursday, Andrew Burr of the women's soccer team will be in. They pummeled North Greenville last night 8-1 here on campus. And, of course, continuing to focus in on the college football opening weekend, which is a week from this coming Saturday, as hard as that is to believe. Until tomorrow, for Crystal, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you and so long, everybody.